Hello everyone, today we're going to be taking a look at the newest Hammond Collection figure I have acquired, the Mussasaurus. So the first thing we'll go over is the packaging. What's going on here? So, I have a weird, I can sense if something's AI generated. I just can feel it. This just looks like somebody, like I mentioned, the Drysaurus, just took pictures of the figure, ran it through a little AI thing, and spat it out. But to be fair, it could just be a style. I don't know. This just looks like it's AI generated to me. Same Hammond Collection box like you expect. Hammond Collection Mussasaurus. I had mentioned I thought it was funny how they're premium collectibles. An 8-year-old could play with it. There's True Effects logo. We'll see about that. It does have a Jurassic Park T-Rex on the top. Or, excuse me, Jurassic World. Side, that rendering of the Mussasaurus. The Mussasaurus has increased posability, multiple joints of articulation, and dynamic accessories for epic scene creations. It said the exact same thing as the Dryosaurus, except it's a Mussasaurus, of course. That'd be stupid. Very creative. Not like they couldn't have put something like the Mussasaurus is a interesting species of prosauropod from the late Triassic era. Now this small herbivore is in the Hammond Collection. Couldn't they have done something like that? Like that's just kind of stupid. Like, excuse me. We also have some not at all edited photos of the Mussasaurus on the back. True effects again. We have the previously shown Dryosaurus, previously reviewed. We have the crappy Ornitholestes, which I don't think I will ever get. Maybe I will, just to complain about it. And of course, we had the Mussasaurus. Bottom, all this crap. Oh wait, excuse me. Oh wait, it's just the same thing on the side. Mussasaurus Hammond Collection. I'm guessing this was in stores because it came like that. Yeah. So now we'll get into the sculpt. Alright, like I had mentioned before, let's go over the sculpt. So, it's good sculpt, like you'd think for the Hammond Collection. Has some very, very nice scale detail in there. Good sculpting. There's some larger scales kind of scattered throughout, which that may be my dislikes. You'll find out. So I will say the head sculpt especially looks very nice. There's some good definition there. A little shrink wrapped, not that bad. The teeth, also very nicely sculpted. The beak is also sculpted too. It has lots of very good detail on it, I would say. I will say, if some people were complaining about the glass eye being, wishing they had it, honestly, I think this works better on a smaller figure. I will say some people have found that the eye has been misprinted on their copy. Mine, thankfully, is not. It's not really misprinted, which is good. Anyways, yeah, very, very nice sculpt. Good Hammond Collection sculpt. Does have some detail on the underside of the feet, and of course detail on the belly too. Okay, for the articulation, it actually is very good articulation. This is also on my likes. So, for the articulation, you have a nice hinge joint at the mouth. You can get it into you can get all the way closed. You can kind of get it kind of partially open, then all the way open. There is a great hinge joint at the neck and head. Works quite nicely. There is also a swivel in the neck and the head. So, good articulation in the head. So for the arms, you have a good hinge outward. and also a swivel. For the other joint here, you also have a hinge, and if you really wanted to, I don't know why you would, you do have a swivel also. Now, for the feet though, which are swappable, which we'll get to soon, you do have a hinge joint actually on it, and it can turn. For the legs, you have a hinge joint, and it will lock into place. So, it does have a slight bend outwards too. Not very much, but a little bit. It has a hinge at the knee. I think that's what that is. But it does also have a swivel too, kind of partially, kind of hard to see. Excuse me. The foot also has a hinge joint too, so it doesn't. My copy doesn't work that well with the hinge on the foot. It's excuse me. I kind of struggle with it, but it does also have a swivel too, which is good. The rubber tail does have a ball joint in it, and it does have the signature bendy wire, which also does work quite nicely. Alright, those are my likes with it. Now, actually, hang on, I forgot something. The color scheme. I love the color scheme on this. It's probably the only reason people buy this. No backstory with this a little bit. So, Gary the Gremlin had reviewed this, and he was mentioning how the colors on the Mussasaurus and the Ornitholestes weren't correct for the novel, which, yeah, they aren't. They do not have the same colors to the novel. But when you really think about it, though, Mattel had to. They really had to go back and read both books to actually come across the species, when you think about it. And so they kind of have to read the colors. And since these two species, Ornitholestes and Mussasaurus and Dryosaurus, are so unknown that, in my opinion, I don't think anyone will care what color they make them. Like Gary even said himself, who asked for these? So I think they're just trying to make them a bit better. So that's kind of what I think on that. But actual color scheme itself looks great. This is probably the only reason why you'd buy this. I did get this as a Valentine from my mom. Thank you, Mom. So it does have kind of a dark blue base coat. Underneath it has kind of a tan, which is quite nice. Does not go to the tip of the tail. However, though, all these blue stripes would kind of block that, so I can see why they didn't do it. Has these two shades of blue for these stripes. One definitely stands out a little more than the other one. Also has, actually I noticed just now, on the neck and head, it's this different shade of blue than on the body. So, it looks great. Also, I mentioned before, the eyeballs also look very nice. Oh, hang on. Open that mouth. Open. So the mouth also is painted. It has, white for the teeth and kind of a fleshy color for the gums. Now, it does have, I did notice actually, that the color blue on the tail, the light blue, is a bit different on the body. I also noticed as you kind of go midway, the shade of blue on the other segment of the tail is a little different on the other segment. But I don't really mind that. I think it's cool. Now, I really like these colors. Another thing I will say is that they did paint all the nails, which is so nice. I'm guessing previous Mattel would never do this to the figure this tiny. That's just great, though. Good step in the right direction with that. So, another one of my likes about this figure is that it has swappable parts. With the Dryosaurus, no. Why would you do that? With the Dryosaurus was very unnecessary with the jaw. And I don't have the Ornitholestes. I don't think I will ever get that. It looks like crap. Yeah, the Dryosaurus jaw thing, that just does not work for me. That was just awful. However, this one, it being a prosauropod, meaning it can walk on both 4 legs and 2 legs, it comes with these nice swappable parts. You have, walking on the ground, and then you have, little, grabby hands, which is just really nice. So let me just kind of show you how it looks with them. Now here it is on all fours. Yeah, so I think the swappable hands or feet, I don't know what you call them, are really cool. I think it's kind of a fun feature. Now, I will say, some of this, I just don't think it was just pointless to do the swappable parts with the Dryosaurus, and it was kind of pointless the Ornitholestes, like Gary the Gremlin had mentioned. With the Sinoceratops, I can understand, like, the broken horn, the jaw. Yeah, that's just stupid. I don't know why they do that. um, so now we'll go over my dislikes. So for one, like I previously mentioned, yeah, you guessed it. I feel like these large scales kind of scattered throughout just doesn't look good. Like, I feel like Mattel doesn't have like a reference to do. Like, they just kind of do this like cartoony, kind of like alligator-like texture, which I don't mind typically, but just looks kind of awkward on this one for some reason to me. Like, it just doesn't look right. I also feel like the face, yeah, it looks good, nice sculpted, but it just, whoopsies, excuse me. It just looks very shrink wrapped. Like, it looks a little too shrink wrapped. Give him a sandwich. Give him something. I don't know. Give him whatever. Oh, okay, yeah, that works. So that's pretty much all my dislikes. Now, I do have two more, but it won't go towards the final rating. Just kind of a my copy thing. Um, for one, the wrist joint on this one is very loose. Obviously, I can't really show it on camera, but it's super wobbly and kind of hard to pose. Another thing is, now the foot joint on the right one, yeah, it has the joint and it works fine. However, on the other one, for mine at least, I don't know why it just doesn't want to work. But I mean, though, other than that, though, it's a really great figure and I like it quite a bit. All right, you silly Mussasaurus, time to give you your rating. Now, I would honestly give this figure a 7.5 out of 10. Now, I will say that. Wait, what are you doing? Stop that! Fall for. You're so cute! Alright, 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10. So it's actually a very nice figure. I'm still sticking to my 7.5 out of 10. I would definitely recommend you getting this. It's such a cute little small figure for the Hammond collection. And I think it's great for like a background dinosaur or perhaps food for your carnivores. Um, it's a great little guy. I like him. He's adorable, I will say, from the front view. Yeah. Thank you guys for watching. See you all in the next one.